Yeah.
What do we have, a time limit?
No, pitfalls of going live.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes it knocks you off. I've seen
Oh,
other
geez.
people. I've seen it happen to other people.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know where you guys were because it cut off on my end. So,
Yeah, I don't remember. I think someone was saying adding to the deed at when you purchase a house, husband or wife or whatever. Same thing applies. My opinion is that people should buy separately because you can have 10 mortgages, 10 mortgaged properties
hmm
per person. So, that's me thinking big, is that you know, I want to
I'm
have
back.
multiple properties. I want to have multiple properties. So I think you shouldn't go on the deed. Again, a will help
hmm
you differentiate who gets what. In the state of Pennsylvania, whether you're on anything or not, I tell the wives this all the time, you're going to get 50% of whatever it is that's owned jointly. So whether you're on it or not doesn't hurt anything, basically.
Yes.
But
hmm
it could hurt your debt to income ratio if the other person wants to buy something. Or let's just say you get divorced, which happens in more than 50% of marriages. People get divorced, right? So
hmm
then it's harder for you to go buy something else. So in fact, just within the last 3 months, I had to take a wife off the deed because she was on the deed of the property their husband bought a few years ago. They're getting divorced, and she wasn't going to qualify with those taxes and insurance
Oh.
on her debt ratio. So during our process, I had to get her taken off the deed to that property and get the title company to walk it to the courthouse to get it signed off on in order for her to close on her house. So
Oh.
I would say that's a conversation that we need to have to see if it makes sense to put, both people on or add another person, essentially.
hmm hmm We agree.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
So, yeah. Oh, yes, we are. Thank you. I
Thank
agree
you.
with that.
Thank you, Dave. We appreciate you, sir. Yeah. So, is there anything we've been on now for almost an hour? Like we're doing good here, right?
Yeah, we should do it more often. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The importance of a pre-qualification and the difference. I will add to that. What's the difference between a pre-qualification and a pre-approval? Krista.
So the difference is a pre-qualification is what a lot of lenders do. In fact, you could probably go online to, I won't say who, but like, an online lender, punch in your information. Yeah, I make this, this is how much money I have in the bank. And within like 2 minutes, you'll be popped out a letter. You're pre-qualified based on what you told me, what you told the computer. It's kind of like AI, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I've had people that, they work for Uber and they make $90,000 and they tell me I made $90,000. Then I go and I request all your paperwork. So you go to my portal, you apply online, you upload all your documents. I won't finish your pre-approval until I've reviewed all your documents, because if you're an Uber driver and you have a Schedule C, you get a 1099 for your income, you wrote off all these expenses. Now you maybe made 30,000 or 20,000. And that's the income that I'm going to use. So if I can get you qualified or, pre-approved, run you through the approval software system, it's a whole computer system. It's a lot of work, guys. It's basically pre-underwriting a file, and it takes me some time to get through it because it's a lot of work. And these places that are issuing a pre-qualification letter in 5 minutes, they're not doing that. And so oftentimes people will get denied. In fact, I saw this. I don't know if you ladies have heard this, but the denial rate last year was like 50% nationwide.
Mm.
So many denials after people had spent money on home inspections and appraisals, and probably because somebody's not going through all the paperwork. It takes a long time to do it. It
Yes.
takes a really long time for me to go through all the paperwork and to say, you know, yes, I've looked at these tax returns. And, you know, you might have people that work a job, a 9-to-5 job, and they're making a nice salary, whatever. And then, oh, they do Uber on the side and they have a $25,000 loss. They're not thinking that in their head because they're like, oh, I'm making maybe $600-700 a month income on the side. It's nothing until we look at the tax return. And so those are like sneaky things that pop up that can be a problem. So you definitely want to get pre-approved. You need someone to go through your paperwork. You need to be patient while someone's going through your paperwork because it is a lot. You know, imagine if you had to go through imagine as you're putting your stuff together for your tax returns. You know how much work that is for yourself before you can go to the H&R Block guy? That's a lot, and I'm doing it for a lot of people. So, you know, pre-approval is the way to go. And the seller, you guys can attest to this, the seller wants to see a pre-approval. They don't want to see a pre-qualification.
Not at all.
And even if I put on the letter, this person is pre-approved, guess what happens? That agent is still going to call me and say, did you look at the paperwork? And I'm going to say, yes, I did. My letter says I did, but they still, thanks, Donna. Hey, Donna.
Hey, Donna.
They still want to make sure that I've looked at the paperwork because so many lenders don't do it. You know, they don't. So.
They don't. And I can give a quick example of a buyer that I had that was pre-approved with another loan officer. He came to me pre-approved, and I had some questions, so I sent him to my girl, Krista. Krista said, nope, he needs a co-signer. He didn't want to believe me. He did not want. I talked to this. So I said, okay, we're going to go back with your people. I can't tell you who to use. Go back to your people. I go back to his person. Oh no, he's good to go. He's fine. It took us almost 4 months to get that deal closed because guess what was needed?
Co-signer.
A co-signer. Just like my girl Krista said he needed. Right?
Yeah.
So
and
this is why.
Time. What a waste of time.
Yeah, and it was, you know, we were lucky that the seller was willing to hold on, right?
Yeah.
But you know, like just who you work with matters, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Who you work with matters. There's a reason why I send people to Krista because I know Krista is going to do the hard work ahead of time up front instead of just looking at documents and say, oh, okay, we have a pre-approval. Then you waste all of your money, your inspection money, your appraisal money, your time, your feelings, because now you done fell in love with this house and now you can't get it. If someone would have just done the work up front. So trust your agent when we work with you, Yolanda and I, when we work with you, trust us when we say, listen, we might need a second eye on this because, you know, just it won't hurt you, right?
As a backup.
Krista. Yes, as a backup. Right.
Yep.
So Krista, let's talk about that. Right. So if someone does have a pre-approval, right? Someone has already run their credit. Will it hurt them to allow you to run their credit again?
No, I mean, you can have as many people run your credit in a 30-day period as you want, and it will not affect anything. I have a lot of people asking me, oh, can you run a soft pull? Can you do this? Can you do that? And honestly, you know, it's a soft pull is kind of like a pre-qualification. I can't do much with it because I still have to run a hard pull. There's still things that may not come up. I can't run underwriting with a soft pull. I can't really do anything important with a soft pull. So sometimes I will say, okay, you know your credit's bad. You know you want to fix it. So a soft pull is fine. I'll do a soft pull. But typically, if you really want to buy a house, we need to do a hard pull. It might take 1 or 2 points off for like a month or two, and then it'll bounce back. And if you're really worried about a point or two, then we probably have much bigger problems with the credits, to be honest. So.
And Des, this is for you and Krista. I can't see questions no more, so somebody else is going to have to pay attention. I don't know why it's not showing up.
Okay.
Okay. What do you think is a good percentage to put down on a down payment when purchasing a property? Krista.
I would say as little as possible is always my motto. Buy as cheap as possible as you can buy and buy as little as possible. I mean, put as little money down as you can put down. Because one, I think you should have 3 to 6 months of your mortgage payment set aside And I talk to people about that with the budget that I have. I have a budget form that I use, and I think that everyone should have some extra money put aside for their mortgage payments in the event of an emergency, or saving to buy another house. So I feel like my goal as a first-time buyer is to help you put as little money down as possible.
Okay. All right, so we have another question. It was actually answered early on, but some people are just getting on, so it's okay. What should your credit score look like before starting the home buying process?
Ideally, 620. You know, obviously, the higher the better, obviously. But, you know, as I was saying before, that a lot of people run into credit problems because they don't understand how to use credit. And we're gonna address that. We're definitely gonna address that because I think it's super important. But so if you're just starting out, you know, maybe not sure how your credit is, maybe you handled your credit poorly in the past, whatever. 620 is ideally where we want to get you to. One of the biggest problems I'm running into right now is people are not paying their bills on time. Not necessarily even collection accounts, but if you have a bill, whether it's a credit card or an installment loan, anything that you have, those short-term loans, Self, Affirm, BMG, the credit builders, they say they're going to help you build your credit. All those bills need to be paid on time. Your electric bill, your PICO, everything needs to be paid on time. And by on time, I mean within 30 days of the due date. That is the biggest problem that I'm seeing right now, is that people are not paying their bills on time. They don't understand the relevance of if they are late, you know, especially with those credit builder accounts, they think that they're paying the money back to themselves. And so if something happens and they, you know, they have a car repair, and what bill am I not going to pay? I'm not going to pay the Affirm bill because that's really money going back to myself. But really it's not. It's showing up on your credit report. And now you just screwed yourself because you paid a bill late, or you didn't pay it for 60 or 90 or 120 days. You cannot buy a house with more than 2 30-day late payments in the last 12 months. FHA does not allow it, and conventional loans certainly don't allow it. So paying bills on time is the best way to get good credit, and the most important thing to do. So
in the vein of credit scores, right? Is there a difference between, like, some people will say, oh, my credit score is 700, but I want to get it to 780, or, you know, or my credit score is 680, I want to get it to 700. Is there a difference in the pre-approval process with that?
No. In my world, there's two real main things that I want to see: 620 and then also 660. Those are the two numbers. And 660 opens up a whole nother program where you can get grant money, assistance money. 620, we have to do certain other things. And then 660 opens another world of what we can do. So no, it doesn't make any sense. And I tell people that all the time, like, don't bother. Don't even bother. You have a 668, let's go. Let's do it. It's not going to change anything. 660, 700, it's not going to change anything.
Okay.
I know it's harsh, but it's true.
Yes. I say the same thing because I learned from you.
Well, that's good to know. Someone's listening to me.
Absolutely. At least I am, Chris. I'm listening.
Thank you. All
right. And our clients are listening too. Okay. So does your down payment factor into how much your mortgage will potentially be?
So, you know, listen, this is
down, please.
This is something to chew on. For every $10,000 that you put down on your house, it only lowers your payment by $60. $10,000 lowers your payment $60. That's not a lot at all. So why do you want to put all this money down? You really don't. You want to put as minimal money down as you can and try to get it from somewhere else, grant money, for example, and put little money down. So, you know, there's people out there, they're like, oh, I want a $1,500 payment, and I've qualified them for $1,800 or $1,700. They're worried about that $100 or $200 a month, you know, extra. And I look at their bank statements and I see DoorDash, and I'm like, you spent $400 a month on DoorDash. You know, if you didn't do that, then that extra $100 or $200 that we're complaining about on the mortgage, you could afford. You know what I'm saying? You have your own place. You may not need to do DoorDash every night. Maybe you can make meals yourself in your own kitchen, you know?
Right.
So you got to remember, as a loan officer here, I'm looking at all your stuff. We're looking at, yeah, don't go to Starbucks every day. It's true. I'm looking at all your stuff. I can see the people that are gambling on those online gambling sites. I can see, you know, trust me, we see a lot of stuff on those bank statements. And, you know, that $100, in order for you to get your payment down $100, you got to put $17,000 down to lower it $100. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
You can afford it. If I say you can afford it, you can afford it. I am not pushing people to the max. I am looking at every single thing to make sure that you're going to be successful in your home buying, you know, situation. You know, it looks bad on me if you don't pay your mortgage on time. So what benefit is it for me if you can't afford the, you know, the mortgage? So it is important, and we do look at that. So
absolutely. All right, the questions are coming in now. All right. So what?
I can't see the questions.
I
Oh, you
can't
can't see
either.
them now
I
either?
mean,
No.
Wow.
I
Okay.
if
think
you're
you have to
going
have
fast
us
and I
as
can't
like a,
know
I
how to get
can't see
back.
anything. I can't even see who's on it.
Oh, wow. All right. I guess I'm the moderator now. Here we go. All
Yes.
right.
Okay. What you
What's a
got?
good way to build your credit when you don't have any established?
So the best thing to do is to open a secured credit card. That's the first thing you do. Take $300 cash, you go into your bank and say, give me a secured credit card. That's the first thing. And then paying it on time is super important. I mean, paying it on time, super important. Next thing, don't spend more than 30% of the limit. So if your limit's $1,000, don't spend more than $300 in a whole month. In a whole month. The credit bureau is going to get notified what you spent in that whole month. And if you spend more than 30%, we're going to see it. So let's just say you get your credit card, you're excited. I got $1,000. It's Christmas. I'm going to go spend $1,000. I'm going to know that you spent $1,000. And then the next month you went and made a $25 minimum payment. Guess what happened? The interest accrued, and now you're over the limit, and now your balance is $1,050. Okay? So now what happens? You're over the limit. Your credit score is going to go down 50 points. All that hard work. So the best thing to do is to never spend more than 30%. And ideally, if you can get 2 credit cards, that would be great. Spread it around, you know, maybe use gas on one and food on another, but never try. And people say, oh, I want to use my American Express. You know, I use that one only when they have other ones. And I say, well, you're just hurting yourself because you're spending up that limit every single month. So that's the easiest way to get good credit.
All right. This is a good one. How much grant money can you receive?
Oh, that's a good one. So the rules this year are a little bit different. Last year it was about $40,000 that I was getting people on average, putting 3 grants together. The 3rd grant is not available anymore. It was just a short time thing. But this year, I have an assistance program. If you have that 660 score where you can get 5% of the purchase price as down payment assistance, up to like a $700,000 purchase price in the city, $709,000. So let's just say on average you buy a house for $400,000, and I give you $20,000 from that grant money. There's also another grant that's coming out. There's 2 that are coming out. One is coming out April 7th, I believe, and the other one I think is May 19th. I have to check those dates, but when I talk to you, it's May 19th and April 7th. Yeah, they're $15,000 each. You can't get both, but you can get one or the other if you qualify. And you could use that $15,000 with the other money on the other program. So it's, I mean, the numbers are endless. You know, if you, not that anyone is per se, but I'm saying if you got a $700,000 house and you got $35,000, and then you got another, you know, 15 from this other one, you could be getting a lot of money. So our goal is to try to get as much money as possible. And then if we have a shortfall, then we go to the seller. That's when Des will go to the seller. Des Yolanda will go to the seller and say, hey, we need a little bit more money here. But it's income tax season, guys. So most people are going to have a few bucks in their pocket. You know, so don't squander it, save it. Talk to us and see what you can do. And even if we don't have you use it, it looks good to have a few bucks in the bank.
Yeah.
It's called reserves. You know, it's that money I was talking about. Like you have extra, you have a month or 2 of your mortgage payment left over. That looks good.
Yep.
You know, even if you don't use it. And even if you use it after and you go buy furniture with it, it looks good during the process to have some extra money sitting in your account, basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All
Oh, I
right.
see a question.
Kristen, I got a quick question for you about the
Yeah, go
grants.
ahead.
Do you have a flyer that kind of has the grants on one page, like a one pager? And if not, maybe I can help you. And that way you can share with Des and I, and we can utilize it to kind of share it to our clients or potential, clients, so that we can, so they'll know what's available. Because when you start to talk about $20,000 to $40,000, a lot of people, none of my times that I purchased properties did it involve grant money of that amount. And it's because most people don't know, and they first thing they think is that they need at least 10,000. So it's a good way to kind of like share it with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't per se. I mean, I have a flyer on one of them.
Okay.
There's really right now, there's two main grants that are coming out on April 7th and May 19th.
Okay.
That is the money that comes out. It's going to run out. You got to get on the wait list. You got to get it. And then you have 6 months to buy. That's the
Okay.
important money right now. The other money I'm talking about is available all year.
Okay.
So, and it's a mortgage program. So really more so what I want to say to people is you can buy a house with a couple $1,000s out of pocket.
Right.
For real.
Ask me how.
Cheaper than to
That's
move to rent, because you got to get 3 months.
right. That's
Or
what I'm
more.
saying, because if
Yep.
we start giving out things to people, they don't know what applies to them. That's
Right.
why I don't like it when people call me first and they want to have a conversation about what's all out there. And I'm like, well,
Right. Okay.
this is really not the best way to approach this, because I don't know if what I'm talking about with you is going to apply to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to be upset you didn't get it. So the better thing to do is let me look at your situation first, and then I will tell you what applies to you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The worst thing that I ever want to happen is for someone to come to me and then go to some other lender and say, this lender said they have this, and you didn't tell me about it. That doesn't happen on my watch, because I make sure whatever it is that can be done for you, I'm going to tell you about. And it might be one thing, it might be two things, it might be three things. It might be no things. You may not qualify. But if you do, I'm going to tell you everything you do qualify for, and then you can decide how you want to go about it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. All right. So we have another question here. Does putting my child on my credit card help to build her credit or hurts it?
Yes. That is something everyone should do, is to put their 15-year-old on their credit card as an authorized user. So by the time that they're 18, they have a score. And then when they're 18, they can apply for their own credit card, and they'll get their own credit card because they have a nice score from you if you pay your bills on time, right? So you want to put them on a card where you don't go over 50% of the balance. 50% of the limit. You want to put them on a card that you use very responsibly so that they get the better score. Because putting someone on as an authorized user, if you're not going to handle the bill properly, is going to hurt them. And I've seen that too countless times, where I have to ask people to get off as an authorized user. And sometimes the creditor will delete the account from the user. Sometimes it won't. And sometimes it's just messing up their credit. So yes, I do suggest, and I did it for my own kids, when they're 15, they go on my card as a user. When they're 18, they get their own card. And then when they're 20, buy a house, unless they're in college. And then after college, buy a house. But that's the
formula.
what you need to do. Formula, yes.
There we go.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. All right. So this is back to the grants. And what if you're on disability? Can you still get a grant?
Yeah, as long as I can get you qualified, pre-approved to buy a house, and you qualify with the payment, and you're able to make the payment, and we can find you a house in this price range or whatever you're qualified for. Disability is income. So is Social Security is income, just like someone that has a job. So yes, if you can get qualified for a mortgage, then we can qualify you for grant money. Yeah.
All right. And one last question. Why are most grants geared towards lower income individuals when higher income earners may be able to afford the monthly payments more easily?
Well, they're not all. They're literally not all. In fact, I'm going to get out my thing because of this question. So the money that I said is 5% of the purchase price. It could be up to $35,000. The income limit in Philadelphia for 1 to 2 people is $143,000. Okay. If you have a husband and a wife and a kid, 3 people, it's $167,000. If you're over that, I have the same program that goes up to $200,000. So those are not very low income limits. Those are pretty high. Those are
Yeah.
pretty good income limits. And the grant that I have for minorities that's coming out starts at $96,000 for one person.
Wow.
That grant's going to run out in 2 hours. It
Yep.
ran out in 2 hours in 2025.
I heard about that grant.
Okay. The Keys to Equity grant ran out in 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I got all my people the money that were on my list. I got every single one of them. But that starts at $96,000. So if you're a family of 4, you can make $137,000. That's pretty nice. That's a pretty hefty income limit, I would say. So no, it's not just targeted to low income people at all.
Yeah. So
Mm-mm.
what I hear you saying, Krista, especially with this $90,000 grant for minorities, if someone is even considering buying a house, they need to be having conversations with us now so that they
Yeah.
can prepare and possibly get on the list, because it ran out in 2 hours last year. It's probably going to run out in an hour this year because more people
Yeah.
are going to be prepared for it. So
Right.
do not wait. You guys want to buy a house, get with us, any of us, and we'll make sure it happens for you, as
Yeah.
long as you qualify. So,
Yeah.
mm-hmm,
Yeah. And if you can't get qualified now, then we'll help you to be on the right track. And then maybe you'll,
mm-hmm,
I don't know if you can see, but this pile over here is all the people that don't qualify now. They have dates of when they qualify, whatever it is, January of next year, September,
mm-hmm,
a future date. So they, I keep everybody on my desk. I don't get rid of anybody. Everybody's on my desk. This desk or the desk behind me.
mm-hmm.
Nobody goes in a drawer. I sit and I wait until you're ready, and people come back.
Right.
You can attest to that. People come back. Even
Yeah, like
people
the girl
that,
we were talking about earlier. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I don't even know if she contacted you first. But
Mm-hmm.
the good thing is that she contacted me, and I know she's your girl, so I'm gonna let you know she's back. That's how we
Mm-hmm.
work. That's how we roll.
Yeah.
You never get rid of us.
I don't know who she contacted first. All I know is she called me and said, Des! I said,
Right,
yes, let's go. So I guess she called you first.
right, right,
From
right. Exactly.
2019.
2019. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. And a lot of agents don't take care of their people and don't follow up and don't follow through. So there's a lot of buyers that come back to me and they never heard again from the agent that referred them to me in the first place. That's why working with you guys as agents is good, because you follow up with the people. You're not dropping them because they have bad credit. You're here to be a resource and to be supporting them, and they appreciate that. And they appreciate everything that we're telling them. They just need help. They need direction.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So thank you guys. Do you have any final last words to our folk that's watching on our first
I
live
would say
today?
hashtag call Krista. I got to get better on this Instagram, but
There you
I'm
go.
definitely here. I'm definitely out there. We're out there. We're getting stuff done. So you got to give us a
Mm-hmm.
call. Call Des, call Yolanda. They'll
Mm-hmm.
get you in touch with me. For the buyers that already bought, hey, thank you. Tell all your friends that they need to buy. It's time to do it.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So yes, if anyone's on the live and watch the live, DM any of us and say ready. You're ready to get the process started, and we will work with you, whether your credit is ready right now or to be ready in a year or two or whatever. We're here to help you guys. So thank you for tuning in to our first
I just want to end with one thing too,
uh-huh.
that please keep your notifications on, and we will follow up with you about Krista talking about having a credit, what's the
Yeah,
name, like there have been a lot of questions
credit
about
cards.
mortgages, a lot of questions about credit. So we are going to still have that home buying workshop that was planned for today, but we'll figure out a time and a day to also have a credit one so that people can come in person and ask some of these, and not just newer buyers. It can be repeat buyers, or it can be potential, like myself, buy again buyers
Move up
To kind of
buyers.
get you,
Yeah.
yeah, to kind
Mm-hmm.
of get you in line or give you a plan so
Mm-hmm.
that you can get towards your goal.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I agree.
Yep.
All right.
Awesome.
So
Well, thank you so much for putting this together. I think
yes.
it was great.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank
we'll definitely
you.
do it
Great
again.
idea, Des. Thank you.
Oh, listen, we do this thing together. All
Yes,
right. All right,
absolutely.
y'all. Blessings. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Till next time.
All right.
Bye.
See you
Bye,
later.
y'all. Why are you hanging this thing up?